Microphone muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Discussing Resilient episode of Discussing Resilient podcast. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, brain no worky. And welcome to another Blight Surgery. So today, this is the stream where we go. Sorry, it's a bit just off the blue. Off the rip. Didn't have much time to plan the stream and put it up. Wasn't quite sure if I was gonna be able to do one, but I'm gonna just say sod it, throw it to the wind, and we'll try and get an hour in here, and then we'll do another hour on Sunday. So people who maybe are new here, this is the one where we review our members lists. Priority goes to the Blight Lord tier members and above, and then we try and look at some plague marines when we have some downtime. We got a lot of lists waiting to be gone through. Obviously, we had our points changes, so lots of things have changed now. I have just been speaking for like an hour and a half straight on Vanguard Tactics live lessons for them. So if I have to nip out and get a drink, please bear with me. I will try and not do my throat in too badly. So yeah, let's get straight into it today. So we've got Medz up first here. Is my chat box not working? Hello? Please, worky chat box. Hopefully the chat box will update itself. It's been a bit slow today. Playing around with this gun heavy list, Typhus, Tally, 3 pox for scoring and screening, also considering a couple swaps, dropping something for a plague bus, dropping Typhus, Tally and the Pred, adding an LOC and for the second Death Shroud Terminators and moving the LOV to an added 5-man BLT break that hangs out with the imprints in mid, quit playing a Despoiler like a Degenerate and go back to Toolkit Death Guard list. This one here, so playing Virulent Vectorum, we have brought along a Knight, so we got a Demon Prince of Nurgle with the Revolting Regenerations. That's the 5 up Feel No Pain here. Again, really solid little model. Toughness 12, 2 up save, 4 up invulnerable, 5 up Feel No Pain. It's a mini Mortarian. Really good in Virulent Vectorum for making your opponent have to make bad decisions and bad trades. We've got Typhus and then the Lord of Contagion with Demon Weapon of Nurgle. I think Demon Weapon of Nurgle is going to be seen a lot more than Furnace of Plagues now. Furnace of Plagues being a 25-point enhancement. Very strong, don't get me wrong, very strong, but for 15 points less, you can pick up Demon Weapon of Nurgle, which mathematically, outside of very specific scenarios, actually performs roughly averagely the same, and even better against really tough targets there. So, actually, Demon Weapon of Nurgle, probably for its points cost, is far better at the moment. Then we've got a Lord of Virulence and a Tallyman. So, backing this up, we've got 2 squads of 3 Death Shroud Terminators, 3 squads of 10 Potswalkers, a single Predator Destructor, 3 Fated Blood Drones with Heavy Blight Launchers, and then a Knight Despoiler at the back with his double battle cannon. Okay, this is an interesting one. So, there are a couple of thoughts here in general. So, obviously, the shooting aspect is pretty damn strong. We've got the Predator Destructor here. We've got the 3 Heavy Blight Launch Drones and the Knight Despoiler. That is a lot of shooting firepower, which is obviously very strong. The Knight Despoiler went up quite a bit of points, and you're at like 40 points, something like that. But it's still an incredibly strong, powerful shooting unit with its amazing profiles and its synergy with Death Guard rules. Now, we're going to see if they're going to do anything to that in the data slate that'll be coming up. See if maybe they change it so allies can't benefit. We'll have to see. But as it stands right now, it does benefit, so we'll go from there. Now, Lord of Virulence is in here and a lot of Contagion, so they're going to be joining a squad each, probably going to be Typhus going solo, Tallyman on home. So you do have 3 squads of Potswalkers potentially that can play up the field, because obviously you have a Tallyman that can sit on home. Now, the big thing here when I look at this is shooting is pretty damn good. Shooting is pretty covered, but the questions for me is going to be is, you can obviously put the imprints on middle and you hold your other 2, and you might have a problem potentially with people playing quite aggressive into your natural expansion where the imprints isn't, because you can put 10 Poxwalkers on it, but what happens when, you know, something like 10 Blood Claws comes across and just kills them all, and it's like you don't hold that primary, because your ability here to impact your opponent's primary is quite low. So you can be aggressive with this and push it forward. Now, if you're going to be aggressive though, the bloat drone choices are going to be a little bit to your detriment, because obviously if they get tagged, they're basically useless with the HBL drones. Now, obviously, you put Demon Prince in the middle, you got 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators. So there's not too many enablers for the Death Shroud Terminators here for them to be able to get a good drop in. Now, the best one you got is Typhus in solo and Deep Strike. Typhus can come in on turn 3 if you use the strat to extend its contagion range by 3. He can come in with a contagion range of 12. So you can Deep Strike in, put things in contagion, and you can follow that up with a Death Shroud squad going in. That's pretty good. The alternative here would be to do something like pulling back on one of the shooting units. So you could probably, honestly, the Predator Destructor is pretty damn good. I do like the Predator Destructor. But I feel like with the Despoiler and with the triple HBL drones, I don't feel like you need that many guns. I feel like you can probably drop one of these, whether that's the Destructor or whether that's one of the HBL drones, and then use those points to get either something that's going to be doing a bit more skirmishing, like Chaos Spawn, something like that. That can just sort of scope, spread contagion, and be aggressive onto your opponent. It'll enable you to be a lot more aggressive in your plays, which is really nice. So that could be something you could potentially looking at there. Lord of Virulence obviously then would lose a bit of benefit from not giving full rolls to hit from a Blight Launcher compared to the Destructor. Destructor's an interesting one. Destructor is a good unit. It kind of depends for me. If we say in a night meta, my favour is still probably towards the HBL drones, although mainly because you're playing VV, so obviously you can mark them for full rolls to hit and reroll your shot amounts. Nothing makes me sadder than rolling a one shot on a HBL drone. The benefit of the Predator Destructor, obviously the flat damage amount of shots in there, but the Predator Destructor does also do better into an infantry based meta if we start seeing big bricks of infantry coming back. Obviously being able to tag them, make your Death Shroud Flamers effectively AP2 with -1 save is really powerful, because again, you're going to put pretty much anything in the game onto its invuln because they have built-in ignores cover. So that's also really good. Like, the list itself is pretty damn good. I just feel like maybe we want either something that's more like early trading or something, because you could even potentially cut down a Poxwalker unit, cut the Predator, and now you've got like the ability to put in 2 extra more like pressuring drones that you can be aggressive with, whether that's Flesh Mails or even Haulers, for example, that can be more aggressive. I feel like that might get a bit more done. Because then you can have 2 aggressive demon engines sort of going up, forcing people to come out with their anti-tank, which then you can swing back on with the Despoiler and the HBL drones, for example. That might get a bit more done for you. Triple Poxwalker is really good, don't get me wrong, but in this instance, because you have a Demon Prince anchoring 1, you do need some Poxwalkers near him to obviously give him the lone operative there, so it's quite important to have them there. But with the time on home, you could potentially get rid of it, but then I do wonder what he's going to go and hold you natural. You could send your Demon Engines over there, to be fair with that as well. And obviously we could drop Typhus. Typhus could, like I said, Typhus himself could just become a Demon Engine. So you could literally cut Typhus, cut the Predator Destructor, or cut like one of the drones summit, and even cut a Poxwalker, and you get 3 more drones in there, for like 3 Mythic Blight Holes, 3 more normal bloat drones, anything like that. That would sort of help. Typhus, I do like Typhus quite a lot, but I don't know if in this specific one I would rather have Typhus over the ability to just have like a Chaos Spawn or something that can just run through a wall, run really far, put Contagion out, especially on a go turn with the extra 3-inch Contagion range, and then I can drop in my Death Shroud, because once the Death Shroud drop in, if you start being aggressive onto your opponent and getting into them, they have to spend all the resources trying to get themselves out of the hole. You can't really let them control the tempo here, because you don't have the ability to protect your natural super well. I feel like if you want to protect your natural, you're looking at like Plague Marines potentially with like a Foul Blight Bomb to like do a heroic play. So you ring the objective in Poxwalkers. If they charge it, you heroic in, you pop fight first, you kill them. And if they don't, then you then shoot off the Poxwalkers, but they can't touch the objective, so you still hold it because you got the Plague Marines behind the wall. So that's pretty good. So I would focus on, if you don't want to focus on like some holding of the natural, focus on putting the pressure onto your opponent. So again, just that one enabling unit like a Chaos Spawn, or just a normal drone that you can throw out with a Flesh Mower and just get that nice contagion spread in there and spread it out. And I would think I really like Typhus, but I do think that Typhus out of there for a single unit of spawn, and then you can use the 20 points, go and pick up, like, if you've got 5 points spare, I don't know if you do it, you're at 1990, then you can go pick up Furnace of Plagues, put that on, like, the actual Lord of Contagion, then go put Weapon of Nurgle on Lord of Virulence, for example, and you could, all sorts of little things you can do there. But in general, it's pretty damn good. Obviously, Night Despoil, you got plenty of shooting. Like, you're going to shoot anything to death that's in the open outside of 2-up save armor contempts. But again, once you run into those things, that's when you kind of go and apply Death Shroud to the face. They can only armor, and the good thing as well, they can only armor contempt one of these. So yeah, you can armor attempt the Despoil, but if you shoot with the Cheppy of bloat drones first, like, they're going to deal most of the damage, and then it's like, are you going to armor contempt like the small remnants of your squad that's left? So I do genuinely like this list. I feel like it just needs a little bit more of contagion spread in play. So for me, that's going to be like Typhus out for some spawn in. But again, if you're more content to sit and wait for a turn 3 play, which I'm not sure, I feel like this list wants to be a lot more aggressive, a lot more forward, then I feel like you kind of want that Typhus to become spawn just so you can get that earlier contagion spreading. Because again, Typhus doing the trick from Deep Strike would have to wait until turn 3. and because you don't have much defense for your natural objective, I feel like that could be a bit of a trap, because you could spend 2 turns, especially if you go in second, getting denied your primary, whilst not be able to interact with theirs too much. The Destructor's up to you. Again, I don't know if you need 4 and the Despoiler. I don't think 4 shooting platforms and a Despoiler. I feel like one of them could potentially change out for something. But again, you meta better than me. And again, it depends how good you are with your heavy blight launch drones, because if you can roll better than I can, then you'll be fine. If you roll like me, you probably want, you probably want the Destructor in there for this reliable amount of shots. But honestly, Medz, yeah, just some small things there, mate, I would consider changing. Par that, super solid list. Again, double Death Shroud, loads of Poxwalkers, Demon Engines. The Knight is obviously, again, play with the Knight, you've got to play with the Knight. I still think it's really good, even with the points increase. It's just a silly profile. I know it went up quite a bit of points. Don, you're in the chat. I'm guessing you still rate this Despoiler even at these points. I don't see any reason it's like gone from like good to bad, other than it just costs a bit more. Because if you were using it right, it doesn't really tend to die, in which case its points are kind of irrelevant, because as long as it gets 5 activations out of this thing and then gets to use its OC later in the game, it's probably still worth 375, given that people were finding success with it back when it was like 425. So yeah, I honestly, mate, super solid list, Medz. Just those little things there, really, I would say. You could put an LV into a 5-man Blight or Terminator brick, which could hang out with Demon Prince in middle. That's not bad, but I like that guy kind of want to come down and just kind of shoot like infantry death. I think, again, let's look where the meta goes. If we see a lot more infantry come back, we can start playing around with the Blight Lord squads in there. If it's going to be what I think it is, and it's going to be stupid fucking Knights again, because Imperial Knight book is going to look really good, then yeah, we'll go from there, and we'll sort of have to still deal with killing Knights. Annoyingly. Very annoyingly. Thank you very much for the 1 GT membership, Mr. Scott Lambert. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, mate. Really helps. If you haven't yet, please also leave a like and a subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hello to everyone that is in the chat. Seeing some new faces, probably because I'm doing it at a different time on a different day. So it's good to see people in the chat. Aiden Cox. Nice name, Aiden. Nice name. I mean your first name. The second one's also impressive. Don't get me wrong. The last name's also pretty impressive, but I like the first name. Although you are the evil Aiden because you spelled with an A. I'm spelled with an E. So sorry, mate. We are naturally arch enemies, brought together by our mutual love for the Death Guard. Gonna buy my second Predator, and honestly, I'm probably gonna use 2 over HBL drone. Yeah, I mean, since the points went up, it's a lot more of an interesting discussion. I also think the Destructor could probably come down 5 to make 140. I just feel like I just wish it had that invuln that this thing does, because that invuln sometimes just spikes and saves you so hard. But again, swings and roundabouts in it. So cool. We got what's this one? Love the DIP Cavalry but has this one been done? Yeah, we've already done that one. Cool, that's fine. Just a little tag there. Just move on to the next one. So we got Sig Beexy. We got Sig Beexy. So hello Alistair, how you doing, mate? Praise be to Papa Nurgle. Praise be indeed. I'm so glad I stole you from the clutches of Mordian glory. You're not 3 of me. Never 3 of you, Necros. Never 3 of you. So again, we're looking at another virulent Vectorium list here. Demon Prince of Nurgle coming in hot. Double Lord of Contagion here. It's the Mortarian list with a Tallyman as well. Then we've got double 5-man Plague Marines, Chaos Rhino, single unit of Chaos Spawn, 2 Deathshot Terminators, 2 HBL drones, 3 Poxwalkers. Okay, so I played this list very, very similar. There was a small change I had, which was, what did I have different? I had enhancements on. For one, I had enhancements on these guys, but there was also something else. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if I had a Tallyman either. I had Rhino. Yeah, I had that. Did I have... I had 2 HBL drones. I can't remember what I had that was different now. I'll have to check it out. But I definitely didn't have a unit of spawn. And I really missed the spawn. I think the spawn in the list did do quite a bit to enable it. Now, this is a weird one. Look, this is not my kind of list. I'll straight up say that. This is sort of like based on Derek Apsh's list from Dirtbags. It's very technical. It's a very technical one to play. A lot of dancing around Mortarian, a lot of maximizing these Mortarian. The list is interesting because a lot of it comes down to the Mortarian and this Deep Imprints combination here and getting the most out of it. And I think this is probably like the way you can sort of build around it here. The Plague Marines, the 2 5-man Barebones still work pretty well with full rolls to hit and wound. So I do not mind that at all. Instead of Rhino, gives you some OC play as well. The bit I was struggling with is that when Morty and the Deep Prince were in the middle, I had nothing really to go forward and spread a contagion, especially if these Plague Marines get in a bit of trouble. So having a single unit of Chaos Spawn then makes me like this a lot more instantly. Now, these two HBL drones, I really didn't rate. They are, especially without an LOV, they are super unreliable. But at the same time, I also understand like they are one of the only sort of long range shooting. I felt like I had no shooting, and because of that, my opponent was just disrespecting me off the rip, which did not feel good. I will straight up say that that did not feel good to have my opponent just feel like they could absolutely disrespect me. So I could make an argument that maybe you drop like these, like 2. And then get like an Apox Walk unit and potentially just go for 3 Blight Haulers just so you can shoot like reliably anti-tank, just hitting on 2s. Because there's nothing worse than exposing these guys and then rolling 1s in your shots. And with just the 2 of them, and because they can't just go together because you're only shooting, they kind of need to like spread out a little bit so you have shooting in different places. It's very hard to get value out of the reroll all shots. That's how I found it anyway. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best player of this kind of list. It's definitely not my thing for sure. Obviously, Mortarion Demon Prince just can be annoying. The idea is basically trying to get good drops on the Lord of Contagion and the Death Shroud into your opponent so that they're kind of dealing with that while Mortarion and Demon Prince kind of just hold the middle. And then Mortarion sort of comes in as the next wave after those guys. And I feel like that plan would have worked a lot better if I'd have had this unit at Chaos Spawn. So I do like its inclusion there. Again, the HBL drones, you can take them or leave them. You have to have... I suppose this... But yeah, everyone does disrespect me, to be fair. That is true. Everyone... Like, again, sometimes they pop off. What's that mean? It's like, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's like the feeling of the HBL drones. They do scare people, though. And sometimes you shoot Chaos Spawn from World Eaters and one-shot the squad. Sometimes you shoot them and do 2 damage. It's a weird one. So you can take them. You still need some form of long-range shooting, so they probably are still the best thing for it, especially when the points get tight, because there's so much points being used in these Death Shroud squads. Bear in mind, like 300 points near each, and then you've also got a 400 point in-ish Primarch and a 200 point Demon Prince. It really does add up, and you do feel very light on the board because of that. So the spawning there definitely would help. I think this list is almost... Because of the points rises, I don't feel like there's much room for movement in this list. And I think Derek is also like feeling the same a bit. It's very tight. Like, he had to cut his Typhus. Normally, there's supposed to be a Typhus in here, which can obviously come in and do the trick we said before, where you extend the Contagion range, drop in, then Contagion it, and then go for the charge there. So, yeah, there's certain things like that have to have been cut. So just having a bit of OC play here is quite nice. Around just to harass someone's objective is quite nice. Again, then you can focus on dropping down the Death Shroud on the other side while Morty and your Demon Prince take mid. Your Poxwalkers are mainly just screening out here. You're not trying to look to do anything too smart with them. Obviously, you can do smart plays with a reactive move by blocking charges, blocking movements, blocking disembarks. There are things you can do around middle there, but it's a point. So what I would say to you is, Sig Beexy, this list is not a pick up and play. I feel like if you want to get good results out of this list, you have to decide that I'm going to main this kind of list and play the crap out of it. Because when you start thinking about what Mortarion can actually do with reactive move, the possibilities are ridiculous. But you need to be able to spot them. And because I haven't been playing it, I haven't really spent much time playing Mortarion, and I'm not really interested in doing it because it's just not my kind of play style. I will never be as good as like Derek on it. But if you do find this list interesting and you really want to get good at it and you practice it a lot, the potential is there. So what I'd say is more for this list, more so than the little changes that you can make here and there, is make sure this is the kind of list you want to play. Try it out. 100% everyone should try it out at some point. See how it feels. Give it a few games, because the first one could just go horribly wrong, so it goes horribly well. Just bear in mind. But if you like the style list, the more you play it, the better you're going to get at it. But honestly, if you don't like it and you feel like, I don't know if I like being this thin on the board, then it's not the kind of list for you, and I would probably go and look at either just running the Demon Prince or just running Morty. Them together is a very specific list that requires a very specific playstyle and very specific knowledge to get the most out of it. So I hope that sort of helps you on that one, because there's not much room for changing things around on it. But I do really like the unit of Chaos Spawn being involved, and I think it's very important to have that. Bertie, you're in the chat. Looking forward to getting my list of you. Do you want to find your own list and then tag me in it so we can make sure we cover yours today, mate? I'm just going to quickly see if Nat's set off from work yet, because I want to make sure she's alright and safe. You set off yet? Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure Nat's nice and safe. Right. So, Naval Foul, Tallyman's Revenge. Another Virulent Vectorum. A lot of Virulent Vectorums today. Okay, this is interesting. So, So if you have upgraded your membership, post it in the blight surgery because we make sure we go through that first. We look at plague. So if you post in plague surgery, there's a good chance it don't get seen to because we have so many entries. So make sure you post it in the blight surgery, right? Even if you were a plague marine, you've upgraded, just grab your list, copy paste it into there. It's fine. So then we've got Tallyman and Typhus. This is interesting. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. What happens if we just actually skimp on characters and just go like super cheap MSU? And it might not be super cheap MSU. I've not seen the rest of the list, but I do wonder what happens if we just say characters are cool and all, but what if I can save those 120 points over there, those 60 points over there, and just see how much stuff we can still get in our list. This is something I've actually been wanting to experiment with, so I'm glad to see this here. Thank you so much. Is it Ryan Dragon? I can't see the rest of your name. It's like cut off there. I'm going to say Ryan Dragon. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships there, mate. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. If you did get gifted a membership there, make sure to say thank you. Go to our YouTube channel homepage. Go to the See Perks button that you'll now be able to see. Click that and there'll be a link to get yourselves in the Discord. Once you're in, go to your Discord settings, connections, link your YouTube to your Discord, and the full server will be unlocked to you. Thank you so much there, Ryan. Really appreciate that, mate. It's Potato. Oh, it's Potato. Hi, Potato. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. Okay, so let's have a look what's going on here. We've got 2 squads of Death Shroud turn. It's going to be bare bones, remember. Going to be bare bones. Then we've got Defiler. Cheeky. Okay, pie plate time. 1 Flesh Mower, 2 Flesh Mower, 1, 2, 3 HBL drones, 1, 2, 3 Methodic Blight Hordes, and 2 Poxwalkers, and a Despoiler. See, this is what I mean. If the characters stay home, like, like, you can still get a lot of stuff in Death Guard. This is triple HBL drone, triple Methodic Blight Hauler, 2 squads of Death Shroud, a fucking Defiler, 2 Flesh Mower drones, double Poxwalkers, and a Night Despoiler. That's a lot of stuff. That is genuinely like a lot of things. That is 8 Demon Engines, 9 because the Defiler's here. So there's 8 small Demon Engines, a Defiler, a Night Despoiler, 2 3-mans of Death Shroud, including a Typhus, which could potentially go solo as well, and a Tallyman setting your home objective, and still 2 units of Poxwalkers. I'm really interested to see how this plays. I actually really like the idea of it. Obviously, the role of the Death Shroud here kind of changes a little bit. They don't smash as hard as with a lot of contagions, but you're also like near half the cost. So it's gonna punch. Yeah. Feel free, Potato. Feel free, mate. Feel free. Tag me in it. So what this means is basically because of the ability that you have to just basically have cheap Death Shroud now. And you've got plenty of ways to still spread it because you've still got 2 Flesh Mower drones in here. Also, the Defiler plus like this thing, the Night Despoiler becomes absolutely egregious with strip cover from the Defiler because now it's actually going to be AP2 when it shoots things, which is gross outside of Armor Contempt, obviously. So that thing really hits hard. This is really interesting. Well, yeah, the Death Shroud no longer hit like a hammer or freight train, but they're still going to be more than capable of going in, clearing units that are behind walls, clearing off power armored enemies, clearing most infantry still. You're still weapon skill 2 with 12 attacks at 832 if you're in -1 save potential. That's still really good. You're still a 4-wound Terminator with a 6-inch deep strike. You don't always need the character there. The characters are welcome to stay, but you don't always need them. And I feel like we've kind of just locked ourselves into must put character with Death Shroud, and I feel like with the points increases, maybe it's time to go back to try and like. I've made lists with 1 squad with a lot of contagion, and whereas normally the second one would have a lot of contagion. Like when I actually think about it, I cut 1 character from my list with an enhancement, and I've saved 140 points for the sake of 1 character. Very good character, admittedly, but that is a lot of points. It's a lot of points to save when you think about it for the sake of a character. And I can still have the Death Shroud that can go and just bully weaker units. I just can't go and just like one-shot a knight. But at the same time, I then have like, if I take scoring units, I can take potentially like 2 extra scoring units. Or I can just take another like Demon Engine plus spare points somewhere else. It adds up quite quickly, as you can see here. You still got a load of things in here. So I mean, like, yeah, like the list fundamentally it works. I would love. This is not what I'm going to really recommend any changes on because it's out there. It's trying new things. The Tallyman's the cheapest option you've got. Like even Typhus to a degree. Like, is he going to be a scoring piece here? He could also just join one of the squads here. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, that's for you to kind of play around with. There's even potential here for you to drop the 3rd HBL drone into another normal drone, make it a bit more aggressive, and then you can have a lot of contagion in here. Then you have a 120 point contagion here. Yeah, I do use 50mm based Lord of Contagions. You can pry my 50mm bases out of my cold dead hands. I am not giving up my 50mm bases that I have made pretty. So good luck with that one. I'm not putting them on 40s. 50mm till I die, baby. So that is one option you could do there. Drop a HBL drone. Add, because remember, you've got so much firepower because of the Defiler plus this thing, and these guys are still shooting with 2 of them. That's still going to be really strong. Triple MBH. I would probably actually rather go for the 3rd extra bloat drone, just to have something a bit more aggressive. And then you can have 1 super punchy squad of Death Shroud Terminators, and you have 1 slightly less punchy squad. So it opens up the option for you to still have the hammer unit, but then also to have the weak unit. So it depends on the situation. You can apply the Death Shroud squad that best suits the needs required for it. And you're losing Typhus, so you're losing a bit of a solo piece, but you do gain a lot more damage in one of those Death Shroud Terminator squads. It's minor changes here or there, but I think that one probably work better, because then you can also be a bit more aggressive with the triple bloat drones here, because you've still got a crazy gun line. You've got 2 of these things, Knight Despoiler and a Defiler. They're still crazy powerful. And I think it's a very underexplored archetype. Our characters are very good, but it's very, very easy to rack up the points. And in Champions, for example, you don't have a choice. You've got to spend the points there. Otherwise, you just don't have an attachment. So going this way is going to be really cool. And I would love to see how you get on this. But that's really the only suggestion I'm going to make there, Mr. Naval Fowl. But I am really happy to see someone experimenting with the sort of characterless builds. Because sometimes just bring data slates. Sometimes bring data slates. Dazza, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, mate. Suggestions for dealing with tough monsters and vehicles like GUO, Land Raider, Redeemer. I feel like I've been struggling against them, but at the same time, you potentially deal with Horde GSC. So, like, I mean, outside the obvious answer, which is going to be somewhat stupid, like just obviously apply Death Shroud plus Lord of Contagion to face, because that unit is good in GSC as well. You got the Flamers, you got the sweep attacks, you got the ability to go in with Lance there. I feel like if you're in a meta with lots of big things, I don't look at units particularly. Like, obviously you got your Blight Hustler, but I actually, if I'm in a heavy night meta, Champions of Contagion is like my best friend. Because I'll just bring 2 Tallyman, and I'll just go, cool, wait till I got 3 CP, cool, 6-inch deep strike, charge, crit fires, reroll everything, night dead. Just gone, bye-bye. Like, just delete. And it pretty much reliably deletes them. Land Raider Redeemers, honestly, it's just a job for Blight Haulers. The 4-up to wound can be a bit annoying, but if you do get it through at AP5, they're going to have a 6-up save at best, and then because that thing wants to use its Flamers, and it's naturally going to be quite close to you, so your chances are you'll be able to get in melt range if it wants to do its Redeemer things, so you can just pop it quite easily there. HBL drones don't actually become pretty rubbish against things like that, because they're 2-up save, can armor contempt, and get cover. So really, you're going to have an AP1 gun, which is not really reliable, hence why you want that extra AP. But honestly, you can go look at Plague Marines, like Plague Marines with the 5+ crits, lethal sustain, fish, full rerolls everything, 1 CP Virulent Vectorum, full rerolls to hit and wound. Like, that'll kill him, and then if you shoot that at GSC, like, it also kills them, because the Blight Launchers get +4 shots each, so you have 2d3 plus 8 shots, lethal sustained 5s, full rerolls to hit and wound. Like, you'll kill, like, 80% of the squad with just the Blight Launchers, and then if you pop up within 12, you can Overwatch with the Flamers, all sorts of little things you can do. So, honestly, there's plenty of options for it. It kind of depends on the one you want to deal with. But Plague Marines are great. Death Shroud obviously are great. All sorts of things like that, mate. There's plenty of options for it. Punch them to death, shoot them to death. If it's like a Land Raider, you do need that high AP melter, so you can have like the melter guns on the Plague Marines instead. But we have plenty of tools for killing big things. We have plenty of tools for that. And honestly, killing infantry for Death Guard, don't put too much effort into it. You'll naturally just kind of do it. Because like even our bolt guns with the -1 save and the -1 toughness, they win on 2s, it all adds up. There's so many just randomly shooting to like little elf squads and they'll die. So I wouldn't overthink it too much, Mr. Dazza. But yeah, for killing big things, those that I just said there are probably your best bet. Right, let's have a look, because I was tagged in some, because we got some people live in the chat tonight who want theirs to be looked at. Here we go. So, Mr. Potato, let's go with your first, Mr. Potato. Mr. Potato, behold my list, the cockery or the cock-up. A circus of contagion, a cavalcade, I can't remember, of clumsy combos, a compost heap of cunningly clever and confusing conundrums. Enjoy. So Mortarion, a Putrefier with the final ingredient. We got Lord of Poxes with the Cornicophagus, which is droppable. 2 Lord of Contagions, could swap 1 for Typhus. Probably not in Champions, probably not. There's an argument for it, but I think like crit 5s is just so good with the sustained on there as well. so I probably wouldn't drop that. Unless you really need the points. 3 Plague Casters, could sort one for a Bellboy and FBS. Italian Man, 7 Plague Marines, 5 Plague Marines, Rhino, 5 Black Terminators, 3 Dash Terminators, Land Raider. Please make me guess what we're going this bad boy for you. So are you gonna put 3 Plague Casters, 7 Plague Marines in there? Or maybe the Cornucophagus, 7 Plague Marines, and then 3 Plague Casters, one of which is attached, 2 of which aren't. No, I feel like they're going to go in the Rhino for some Plague Bussy goodness. Let's find out. I hope we get to test this out soon. I think it's complete buffoonery and will be lots of fun. Definitely would love some tweaks and comments how to make it more wild. Land Raider, I will start with 7 Marines plus Putrefy plus Caster plus LOP plus LOC plus... Oh! Oh! We're going solo style. Okay. And you can join potentially with the Terminators that come down. Okay, this is interesting. So yeah, the Playcasters are going in the bus. Okay, so the idea being that the Raider drives up, the guys potentially get out, go punch something. If they die, they get back up. Next turn, you can join them to some like Death Shroud that potentially came down elsewhere as well. That's quite cute. That's quite interesting. You could even get them back inside the Land Raider, because obviously if Death Shroud come down that turn, you can't join them because they can't join in the reserve step. But you get back in the Land Raider, for example, hide in there for a turn, then go join next turn, which would be quite interesting. In order to make it like more silly, in order to make it more silly, I don't really know what to do to make it more silly here. I feel like there's a Plague Bus, which always makes me smile. I love Plague Bus so much. With 5 Marines in there as well. We've got a Plague Bus, which is really funny. Putrefy and Caster, plus a Sync. So the Lord of Pox is also solo. He's just going to run in there and spread Contagion for the big drops. Mortarian's in there as well. So yeah, technically you could reactive move and re-embark that Land Raider as well, which is quite funny. Oh, good lord. So got 2 Lord of Contagion, Death Shroud turns. I mean, it's final ingredients kind of what we're playing around here for the fun. So we're kind of forcing final ingredient by shoving it down our opponent's, so trying to put it into the opponent's throats here, which is quite spicy to be fair. 1 second, that's missing me. No, leave, girl, leave. Work's making a stay. I hate when I make a stay late. What could we do to make this a bit sillier? What could we do to make it a bit sillier? Oh man. I mean, the 5, well, they're 185 points. I mean, you could just like, you could drop the unless I guess you want to join the BLTs, you could drop the BLTs and just have this thing just run down your opponent with like 2 Flesh Mower drones as well. So you drop those 2 there, potentially drop Cornucophagus, and then just be like, here's like 2 Flesh Mowers alongside my Land Raider, almost like bodyguards, to just like be like, hey, we're coming for you, and just draw some fire away from it. You could potentially do that while the Plague Bus is also plowing forward. Add Mortarion and just be like, it would be like the dumbest list of just like, this is all on the line, blah. Just see what happens with it. But it would be funny. I mean, even more bonus meme points if you have like, if you instead take the BLTs out, and then somehow you got like a pair of carnivores. I don't know how you do it. You could just drop a lot of Poxes in general and have like 2 carnivores escort the Land Raider and just be like, look, you're getting punched by something. There's a Mortarion, there's 2 Night Carnivores, a Land Raider, and a Plague Bus. Like, pick your poison, mate, if something's coming in hard. And that would be really funny. So I would love to see that. Plus, just the idea of the War Dogs being like, I want to like have them shades and just be like the Secret Service stood next to the Land Raider, which is like the limousine carrying the VIPs, which is like a lot of contagions. So yeah, that if you could make that happen, that would be extra meme points. Plus, it would actually be scary because like they genuinely have to shoot the carnivores. Like Flesh Mowers, you can kind of ignore, but like yeah, can't ignore a carnivore because it's getting scary. It's going to punch you to death, and it has more wounds than the Flesh Mower drone, so you know it also actually works out being hard to kill. Obviously more expensive, but would be funny, and they're also faster. So like Morty, I just get the idea of Morty like a Land Raider in front of him, 2 carnivores, 1 on each side, just being like, just like pushing him up the field, just being like, yeah, this is for you, buddy, good luck. Because it's like, you kill the carnivores, cool, fine, I'll get final ingredient, and Morty then slams into you. Or you killed Land Raider to get final ingredient out of the way, but now Morty and 2 carnivores slam. Like pick your poison. But oh, Plague Bus is over there, by the way, flaming off those scouts that were like holding that primary. Have fun. I think that'd be pretty good. I think it'd be pretty funny, that potato. I think that's a funny one. I like to see you get on that, mate. That looks really funny. Best look on that one there, dude. That would be really funny. How to deploy it? Like, just fucking on the line, mate. Oh, give me 2 seconds. That's just calling me. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure you can understand. We just wanted to make sure she's getting home all right. Don't worry. I'll tell you said hi, mate. Appreciate you guys bearing with me there. Thank you so much. We'll come on to Bertie now. Let's have a look at Bertie's here. Because you guys are in the chat. If you are in the chat right now, I do try and prioritize. I will get through them all, but I do try and prioritize people who are in the chat on the Blight Lords Blight Series stream, just because basically I get to interact with the chat, and it's always nice to be able to interact with the chat. I will get through them all. I'm doing 2 surgeries this week. We've got this one, and then I'm doing one on Sunday as well. So I'm trying to catch up. So there's going to be another stream potentially tomorrow as well. So I'm doing the mostest I can at the moment to get things out for you guys. So that's a nice plant at the back. Nice healthy looking plant. Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's fake. It's a very healthy looking fake plant. Thank you, John. I will check yours out as well, mate. So, Bertie, Taliban Summoners. Here we go. Love it. A lot of poxes with the Fell Harrow, so +2 attacks, brings guy up to 8 attacks. Love this little missile. It's cheap, 85 points, can go in, punch 5 Marines off a point. Love that. Yeah, just tag me. Just tag me. Tag me if you're on and you want me to check your list out. It's no problem. I'll get through as many as I can. So, love this little missile. We've got Malignant Playcast with the Beckoning Blight. This is the 6-inch Deep Strike aura. Rotagus is in here like that. Taliban, obviously just Taliban good. 2 squads of 5 Plague Marines, so we've got a bit of OC play. Oh, heavy OC play here. 4 squads of Plague Bearers, a Rhino, double Beast and Nurgle, 1 Destructor, 2 Destructor, 3 Destructor, 2 Destructors, 2 Athletic Blight Haulers, Nurglings, Poxwalkers. The plan for this list is to keep control of Prime with all my OC and maintain board control. Any advantage you can give out to G, that would be great. I'm planning tennis list. So, I genuinely have wanted to play this list myself for a while. I think that OC lists builds are potentially really overlooked. I really think, like, and again, it's so there's this thing that is really annoying. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I'm not really enjoying the game much at the moment, and it's because of fucking Knights. Because every time I want to try something cooler, I like cool lists. I like lists like this. But Knights just walk over you and say, "Can you deal with me?" And like, if I'm looking at this right now, the answers are like not great because you just can't. You just don't have the tools to kill Knights. Now we do have a slate coming. Hopefully, Knights get a bit slapped. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. Genuinely, we do got 2 halls and you got some structures, and you still get, Rogus can do some damage. What I would say is, so again, we're going to ignore the Knights thing for a second. We're going to just say, if we bring this back to like playing Scoria and OC. So, love the 6-inch Deep Strike for the Plague Bearers, because that means they're going to have a 5-inch charge from Deep Strike, which is awesome. And really reliable for you to be able to flip primary, makes them annoying. So what I want to see here, though, is the way we make OC list work the best is we want to make the things that we do have as annoying to remove as possible. So I really want to see a second Great Unclean one, because you need 2 massive bullet sponges that are going to take fire away from your OC play. So the Destructors here are decent, But I feel like, personally, especially when you're rocking... I don't know if you need 4 units of Plague Bearers. I feel like you get away with 3. So you have 3 units of Plague Bearers, 2 squads of Plague Marines. You could even potentially just go to 1 squad of Plague Marines. But obviously you want to use some synergies, and you kind of want them in there. You got a full melee squad that's to go a lot of poxes. That's going to hit real potentially hard. Or again, he can missile soul. Nothing wrong with that. I would like to find a way for you to get in a Great Unclean One here, because that's going to it's going to have a knock-on effect. Because it's going to make Beasts of Burgle are going to go up to T10. I think T9 Beasts of Burgles. Let me check this real quick. It's been a while since I used Beast of Burgle. Not because they're bad. I just obviously Taliban, which is not bad either. It's just I haven't played Taliban. Let me have a look. Beast of Nurgle. There we go. Yeah, so they go to T10. Funny. But it also brings your Plague Bearers to T6. And again, that just breaks some breakpoints. Like strength 3 weaponry is not as good anymore. Strength 5 weaponry goes from 4s to 5s. It just makes them all last a little bit longer, which is going to be really important. So, for me, and again, if you're going to bring this many Plague Bearers as well, I would love to try and get the enhancement in here on a Great Unclean One, which gives you like regenerating guys on on thingy, because regenerating models is really good in general, but when you can regenerate OC2 models, it becomes kind of rancid, because it's very easy to just flip an objective because you got a good little res off and you got, you know, two guys back. That's 4 OC back to a point, which can genuinely flip a point really easily. Let me just check what the enhancement's called. Is it Tome of Bounteous Blessings? Again, oh, that would be an issue though, because that would drop you Beckoning Blight, which we don't want there. Entropic Knell, though, on a Great Unclean One, plays into it as well, because then you can start making battle shock tests at -1. So I actually wouldn't mind that either. So for me personally, as I'm looking at this, I want to find a way to bring Rotogus to T13. I want to bring all these Plague Bearers up to T6 and these Beasts of Nurgle to T10. And the easiest way to do that is just, again, we've got to try and find this Great Unclean One points here. So if we're going to try and find Great Unclean One points, let's have a look. So, Tallyman here in this detachment, you don't need as much. And the reason for this is because we can start one of these Plague Bearers on home. Sticky home, that's fine. These Nurglings start a suicide mission move block. They get killed. You pay a CP to put them back into Deep Strike. You Deep Strike them on your home objective, which is now stickied. They hold it for the rest of the game by screening everything out. And the strats in this detachment aren't crazy powerful. Like, you're not like, whoa, I need to use this every turn. They're decent. They're pretty good, but they're not like crazy. So you don't need the Tallymite. It's a nice to have, not a need. So that's instantly potentially 50 points there. Now, going from there, again, you could potentially go down to 1 single squad of Plague Marines just to fair around. But again, if you want to play the old OC thing, you might not want to do that. So you get 50 points there. You could then, again, you can look at Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers aren't actually that good at holding primary. Like, they're good for infiltrate, but given you've got a unit of Nurglings, you could probably cut a squad of Poxwalkers here, because the battle shock's terrible on them. They're annoying to kill, but you've got so much of a battle line stuff up top that all going to have like really good OC. I don't feel like you need the Pox. Like, 1 unit to infiltrate with is good, plus you've got Nurglings to infiltrate, so these guys can make a wall while these guys hold an objective behind it, so they can't get to it, so you'll guarantee hold 1 turn from the Poxwalkers. But if you do that there, that's 115 points right there. So you still got to find like a fair whack. Don't worry, it's not going to be easy for you to find it, but the potential there, you get rid of 1 Predator at that point, then you got your Great Unclean One. You got 115 plus that's 260. There's your Great Unclean One right there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then you're only, I don't know if this is bang on 2k. Yeah, it is. But you are quite close to be able to get the Entropic Knell by making a small change somewhere here there. So you could do that. You could drop 1 Destructor. The Destructor, I understand why you've got it. It's more for like shooty bang bang firepower just at long range, which is fine. But again, these guys could potentially be subbed out just for some more. And again, if your entire idea is to control the board, you could go, again, the Blight Haulers here are good for just keeping tanks a bit thingy, not on the line, because again, these guys can roll forward and shoot them. So like, you could just go triple hauler, or get some flesh mode drones, things like that with it. I'm not against the Predator Destructor, but the problem is the Predator Destructor here doesn't actually benefit that much, because they only benefit each other. So one of them is going to get the buff, but none of the demon units get to benefit from the Destructor rule, so they're actually not going to get too much use out of it. For me, I would do away with the Destructors, and I would just bring either some more normal demon engines, or use the points from that, plus a Poxwalker unit, plus a Tallyman, to get yourself another Great Unclean One. And then you're going to have two massive T13 fatties, as long as you keep them semi-near each other. He's going to make everything near them harder to kill as well, so these players are going to stick around for a lot longer. And then you're going to still have all your OC things that matter, really. That all your high OC. And then you have 3 Blight Halls just for when you run into those tanks. That can cause you problems. You just be able to pop them, do a lot of damage to them. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to be the... I'm not sure it's going to be the strongest thing in general, just because of the way the game is at the moment with Knights. But I think if we come back down to and Challenger cards, obviously making primary denial less important. It's more about tabling right now. Gotta hate Challenger cards so much. They should just go away. If they went away, this list would actually have genuine, pretty good play. Whilst they exist, it kind of ruins the whole archetype of the list, where a lot of board control armies aren't doing too great right now, just because denying primary is just not as big a deal as it used to be, because I just fall behind and then play Challenger cards and get 3 points anyway every turn. So it's like, really, if primary's 5, so normally you deny someone 5 points on primary, you're really now only denying them 2. That's a big difference. 2 to 5 is a big difference. So especially when it's over turns, because if that was 3 turns in a row on primary in the old days, you've knocked them down 15 points. Crazy. Now you knocked them down 6. So you've basically done 1 instance of old primary denial. Again, super annoying, but that would be how it works. And then basically, all you're looking for is one plague bearer sort of sitting at home, make a wall, be annoying with the Nurglings here. You have Poxwalkers infiltrate on a different objective that the Nurglings can protect your opponent from getting to. The Rotagus, and honestly, Rotagus can start on the board if you want to, but you can have them all in Deep Strike, that's also fine. The the Malignant Playcaster Bus wants to kind of just get into the middle of the board, and then basically just want to have a turn where you drop out. The Malignant Playcaster, honestly, doesn't even need to join a squad. He can just... rather than use a Malignant Playcaster, I use the Foul Blight Spawn. I know he's a bit more expensive now, but if you do have it, because he kind of naturally protects himself from being advanced and charged on. And if someone tries to charge him to kill him, you can then fight first for a Plague Marine squad. I think he's a better wielder for Beckoning Blight. But again, it's neither here nor there, really. I wouldn't be too upset with it again. He's also now more expensive than the Playcaster was. So it's neither here nor there. But you basically just want to... Just focus purely on scoreboard. Focus on 5 Marines here with the OC to flip it. You just want to keep your opponent off their primary as much as possible, while making... As soon as you sticky an objective, Plague Bearer's job is to just make walls and be annoying and get in the way of things to stop people getting in. And if you manage to get that enhancement in here, where you can start regenerating stuff when you pass Battle Shocks, then the Playcaster becomes more interesting, but then again, you need something else to then carry back in Blight. So again, it swings and roundabouts here. So you could potentially make a change from Lord of Poxes to, again, he could go to a Foul Blight Spawn with Beckoning Blight, and then you use the Malignant Playcaster with the Bounteous Blessings to have them regenerating, so then he hides behind a wall, just make sure the Poxwalker's towed back to him so that he can regenerate guys as they die, which is pretty cool. But honestly, Bertie, it's pretty solid, but yeah, you're just really just focusing on sticky an objective, stop your opponent getting into it with move blocks and stuff moving forward. If you can sticky 3 objectives, and just keep your opponent locked in the deployment in combats as much as possible. Just charge stuff to lock it up, and then keep stopping them holding their own primary. Again, the idea being you go up 15, they go up 5. Rinse and repeat for 3 turns. You're at 45, they're at 15. Jobs are good and job's done. Challenger cards less than that, so it's really annoying. So it's more important for you to keep on 3, because before you could keep on 2 and just keep them to 1, and you'd still be alright. Now you really have to focus on keeping on 3 and keeping them to 1. Again, because of Challenger cards. But if that does change at any point, you'll have a lot more success with this. But it's a cool list. I think it's a fun and interesting way to play the army, which is very different, which is really cool. Hope that helps out, Bertie. Hope that helps out, mate. Right, I got... we've got another tag. Oh, good lord. Oh, so many tags. That was tag there. Tag there. Tag here. Swordsman Smith, you are in the chat here. I'm confident he has said any positives about my list and he hasn't looked, as well as the biggest flaw in playstyle. Oh no. Why? Is yours based around this, Necros? Oh, I'm sorry, I hope it's not. I don't mean to, I never intend to shit talk people's lists. It's the game is just in this weird spot where missions and primary just aren't that. It's more important to just murder, death, kill your opponent rather than actually playing smart and being clever and scoring points, and at the end of the game being oh, I've not got much left, but I'm way ahead on the scoreboard. That's just not a viable thing at the moment, which is super annoying. Champions of Contagion, Mr. Swordsman Smith. Do I go with this? Thinking of dropping an LOC 3 DST and a final ingredient for Footprints in Modron. So, BioP, final ingredient, blah, 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 blah. We have got a types in it. So this here is what's in my COC list automatically. right now. So this, straight up, really like this. Tag me, Travis. Tag me, my boy. Tag me. Tag me. If you're on, tag me. I will cover it. Do not worry, Mr. Travis. Sorry, I'm trying to get through everything. It's so many lists. So we got Battle Speech. So yeah, again, so I don't have Typhus in mind, but again, we'll see where that comes in. So we've got 10 Plague Marines, obviously all the bells and whistles. Going to be joined by these guys up here to give them access to fight first, and then obviously all the crit 5 sustained lethal hits. Very good. And then right off that, we got Chaos Spawn, also in mind. Good. 2 squads of Death Shroud. 3. Okay, this is where we differ. I only have the 2 squads of Death Shroud. I don't have the Bare Bones one, but you also have Typhus in here, so you have actually not a Bare Bones, but it is Typhus in here. Okay, so I'll bear that in mind. Now, backing this up, you have got 3 squads. Okay, so this is, as I was speaking to Craig Bedford, who won the ITT with Death Guard, this is like cookie cutter. This is like cookie cutter. Okay, no worries. Travis, still tag me, and I will go do it after this one. It's cookie cutter, and it's not a bad thing. It's cookie cutter because it's good. Like, normally you would see 3 of one, 2 of the other in the Demon Engines. So basically, the standard cookie cutter list right now is, for Champions of Contagion is the big 10-man break, the 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators led by the LOC. The third one is not in the cookie cutter list. That's where this one differs a bit. And then you go triple HBL drone, double Anesthetic Blight Hauler, and you got your spawn, then you got your Poxwalkers, and some people go double Talion from there. Now, you've eschewed that, so you've, instead of putting the third Blight Hauler drone in, which is 120 points, so people will normally go like another 3 Hauler, 3 drone, 2 Lord of Contagious squads, big squad of Plague Marines, and then out the little bits around it. You gone for the third squad, which again, I'm not against. Like, the Death Shroud Terminator squads are incredibly powerful and incredibly scary. So the question would be is the third one more important than the extra shooting potential platforms in the Demon Engines? Now, my answer to that would be, I am not particularly comfortable having 900 points of my army start off the board. Because you could, if I say to my opponent, and he's got Knight Summit, he's like, cool, if there is 900 points in reserves, so by the way, if I've annoyed you by going to people that are in the chat, I won't do it anymore. It was just, again, it's just a way to give people a chat. I will cover them all. I apologize. So I'll go by. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like cause any like upset with it. It's just I'm just trying to like, if people in the chat being like, "Oh, can you cover mine?" And I don't like saying no. Yeah, you can, like I said, you can drop one of these. That's 280 points back. Almost, you can, like I said, for that you can get 2 extra Demon Engines, so you get 2 of the small ones. So you go third Blight Hauler, potentially a Flesh Mower, and then a unit of Spawn. It's pretty crazy what you can get for it. That would be a lot of Contagion drop though. Sorry, for Typhus you only get 260 back. So yeah, swings and roundabouts again. But in general, just be a bit careful about having 900 points in reserves, because you go into that and then you again. Reese Davriel, the number 1 ranked Knights player, ran into this list quite a bit, which was paired into in teams, because this list does really well into Knights, because again you get 3 CP, you go kill a Knight, gone, sweet, good. But the problem is that if you put too much in thingies, people will just bomb at you, and then you go, oh crap, they got first turn, they're going to have 2 turns stomping around the line. Like, yeah, the Plague Marines might be able to get one. Again, that's why Plague Marine Brick is important, because I saw a lot of people not taking this, because this does deploy on the board, and it's got final ingredients, so it's a great deterrent unit. So that is scary. That is a good thing to have. So it eases the pressure off there. But it's also about what you can send out early, and I feel like I would rather have a little bit more to send out. So I actually don't mind the third Death Shroud squad, but I don't know if you need the character for it. I think you could potentially just turn Typhus into another squad of Chaos Spawn. Like, double Chaos Spawn is really good for just making early trades and early annoyances. And then you get 20 points there. Unfortunately, there's not many great enhancements in here outside like final ingredient. The others are just kind of overcosted and not needed. But that is something you could look at. So you could potentially drop Typhus here, even for a third Blight Haul, and you got 3 Blight Haulers, 2 Blight Launch Drones. You get a nice amount of shooting there. But it is, like I said, it's pretty cookie cutter, but it is incredibly strong. And honestly, like, this list, straight up, will do well. It's got all the things that Champions of Contagion wants to see, which is some really scary Death Shroud squads, the big Plague Marine Brick, and then it's just spice to flavour, really. It's honestly just spice to it. Now, any merit to a Demon Printing Cock? So there is... I personally... So Cock is very... It's CP hungry. You'll often see 2 Tallyman in lists a lot of the time to guarantee the CP as much as possible. So that is quite a common option you'll see, is double Tallyman. Now the question is 190 points worth 3 stratagem every battle round? The problem is, without the feel no pain, he can die like pretty quick. Like toughness 12 is good, and load up's really good. But again, so if you look at it here, like again, you had to put some poxwalkers in. And I feel like the problem is because champions naturally has to run expensive units because you don't really want to run bare bones because you have to have characters in it to access all the benefits. It means like the characters add so much cost to units, you have to be almost skimpy elsewhere. That's why we like the demon engines around it because they're like 100 points, 120, used to be 90 obviously. Whereas the demon prince then adds on another brick of 200 himself. So I feel like I don't personally think he's that great in Cox just because I can't afford his expensiveness when every other unit I have wants the characters in there. But it's not necessarily bad, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those. I think if you take him, you may have to pull back on like you may like you here. You've got 3 units of characters, Death Shroud and the Plague Marines. I think if you want to fit the Demon Prince in here, you have to lose one of these character squads. Like just straight up, it's just gotta go. Because you can't afford that many bricks. So you'd have to put him in, and then the spare, 180, 280. So the spare, like, 80 points would have to go into spawn. Just to have you more things on the board to make up for that lack of thing. So it's not bad, but I don't personally think it's worth it. But again, not bad. It's very different things here. Right, okay, then we got JD here. Big bad boys. Right. JD, I'm guessing that's you, John D. Is that you? Is that you, Mr. JD? I think that might be you. Yes, you were the one above. Yes, okay, go. You're up next. Okay. Big bad boys, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when they 6-inch deep strike on you? That's what you should call your list. That is 100% what you should call your list. So we got 1, 2, 3 great unclean ones, and okay, we got the full whammy spammy here. We got a lot of contagion with the beckoning blight and the Death Shroud Terminators, and then we got 1 HBL drone, 2 squad 20 poxwalkers, and Night Dispeller. Okay, fuck's sake. So this list has been created in a different manner by a fella called Hank, who's in the Discord. So he goes the same thing. So he only runs 3 of the big demons though. He's got 2 and a Rotagus. You obviously gone the full mile here. Now, honestly, the only change I'm thinking straight up here is because you got a lot of points up here, I would probably cut the Poxwalkers into just 10 mans just to have the extra length on there. 1 HBL drone is not going to do anything. Get that out of there right now. So chop that there. So what I will say to you here, we said this a few times before. You don't want, the last thing you want is to have your Beckoning Blight on a Death Shroud unit. Because there are situations where you want to drop in Great Unclean Ones within 6, but you then cannot get Contagion within 9 of an enemy. So what this means is you're basically in this position where you either make a choice. You go, I either drop the Death Shroud 9 inches away and try and bomb on 9, and then get 6-inch deep strike with the Great Unclean Ones, or I wait until I get Contagion in there and I delay my Great Unclean Ones drop. Now in this one, because you got 4, you are not putting 4 in reserves. I'll tell you that right now. You're probably going to put 2 on the board and 2 are going to go in reserves. That is fine. So Beckoning Blight would honestly usually go better just on like a solo character that's going to like sneak out and just be annoying and be a pain in the ass, do something. Like even like a solo Lord of Virulence would normally come down, mark something for shooting for like Blight launch drones, but again, we don't have that here. So I would be, and again, because you've already got him here, there's not really many options because you can't like put another character in because you're already so tight on points. So what I would say is, if you're going to do this, you kind of are looking at a lot of Contagion as a rapid ingress threat rather than an actual like 6-inch deep rate. Because the thing, okay, or the alternative, there is an alternative here. You have to make sure that outside of this, the 6 drop is pretty much guaranteed. So that means everything down here past this point here has to be focused on getting that 6-inch drop. So for me, that's going to mean like the HBL drone goes away, the Poxwalker's here going to 2 10-mans. This HBL drone has to become like it has to become like a unit of spawn or something like that, or even just like 2 forward drones, for example. So you could go 2 10-man Poxwalkers, use the 65 points onto there, that's 185. That gets you 2 unit of spawn right there. And spawning will be way better at getting a drop in with the rather than 3 Poxwalkers. So I would go 2 Poxwalker units and then 2 spawn, dropping this 1 HBL drone because I just don't think this thing's going to do enough for you. and then just go for that big turn drop. Like, it's a massive skew list. It is a huge skew. You're basically just like saying, hope you can deal with T13, by the way, at 6-inch deep striking. And then obviously this Night Dispel is going to be shooting at the back as well. You got Dispel Battling. You got Gatling Cannon as well. Okay, so tend to prefer doubling up on weapons just because it makes them more reliable with just a certain profile. So like double Gatling is fine, double Battle Cannon is fine. Like again, it's not bad. Like Gatling and Battle is fine. It's not like bad, but it's just quicker to roll. So I would probably do that. I'd probably just double up on a weapon there. But yeah, if I was to make changes to this right now, this HBL drone is just not going to do enough on its own. It's not threatening enough for just one-off, especially with no LOV rerolls. So I would cut him out, cut one of these Poxwalkers out, double up the spawn, and then you've got some points left for an enhancement that can go on one of these great unclean ones. Probably the one that's... okay, it's for teams. That makes a lot more sense. So yeah, do that, and basically just looking for an army that can't deal with T13, and just then your spawn are just going to set up, and then you're just going to go, cool, here's the big drop. You drop the 3-man Death Shroud squad, a lot of contagion. You drop the 2 big Chunguses, and you go and stand on objective, and you go, cool, I'm going to be here, I'm going to exist. Good luck dealing with it, while the Night Despoiler sits at the back blasting away anything that gets -1 toughness by the Great and Clean ones. So, like, honestly, like, it'll work. Like, I know some people will eschew one Great Unclean one, so you drop this Great Unclean one here, you drop one of the Poxwalkers, then you'd use that to go, like, like this Blight Hall drawing. So that, because you drop that and one of the Great Unclean ones, that's, oh, hello, Kirby. That's 370 points there. So you put in, like, 3 Blight Halls or 3 Flesh Mode drones, because there's all the split contagion spreading you're going to need. Just throw them forward, be like, there you go. So, again, there's different options for how you approach it. But, yeah, I would either get some spawning here, so 2... the HBL drone can't be cut, we love him. Cut him, nerf him more. Or you go the opposite way, you drop a Great Unclean one and you bring in a lot more like Flesh Mode drones that just kind of bolt it at your opponent and just kind of overwhelm them with that kind of pressure. But it'll be a very fun list to play, and I wish you all the best of luck in your team's event there, Mr. JD. It'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one for sure. And if someone can't do a T13, they're going to cry like mad. Hopefully that helps you there, mate. Dead Boy in Drag, thank you so much for becoming a Blight Lord, mate. Super appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much for becoming a member. So again, get yourself in the Discord. Go to our YouTube channel homepage. Click See Perks. Get yourselves in the Discord. And John, if you are in the Discord, which hopefully you are, try and speak to Hank if possible in the Taliban channel, because he plays these Great and Clean ones like a motherfucker, and he's really good at it. So he'll be able to give you a bit of assistance on like where to put stuff like that. Aren't we one of the armies that struggles with T3? Don't tell anyone that. No, it depends. Champions of Contagion just go crit 5 dirt, full rerolls and kill everything. But in general, yeah, we can struggle a little bit into that, but we do have lethal hits everywhere, which does help. It depends what you go against. It depends what build Death Guard you go against. But we can do potentially. Right, probably got time for one more. Nat's just got home and my throat is killing me because I've been doing like an hour and a half of list reviews on Vanguard Tactics before doing my own list reviews. So I've been talking straight for like almost like 2.5 hours at this point. So turns out it's not great for your throat. It's his prom all over it. I didn't get a prom, Necros. I went to an all-boys school. They didn't let us have a prom. They didn't know what a girl was till I was 16. I had a sister. I didn't know what a girl is. Just want to clarify that. I wasn't that despondent. Anyone else in the chat wants to get theirs done, the last one of the night? If I probably should check if anyone's actually tagged me. Oh, good lord. Right, okay, there's only one way to do this, which is fair, which is, we need a dice. Haha, a dice. I'm going to roll this dice. Oh god, there's so many people. Oh god, lord. Okay. So I will prioritize these. Crazy Dave is here as well, so we'll have Crazy Dave in the list. So I'm just gonna put Crazy Dave, which will type his name. So you guys we'll make sure we cover yours. Worse than the next one. I can only roll a dice. Guys. Okay, it's the only way I can decide this. So 1 is going to be stereotypically sane, 2 ruthless, 3 big god, 4 Mulford, 5 Crazy Dave, 6 will reroll, and then again, do not worry, I'm doing another one on Sunday, so I don't cover you here. More important question, very quickly, do any of you have an event specifically this weekend, so Sunday is no good for you? I'm going to give you a few minutes to answer. While I'm doing that, I'm going to review Strongboy's shopping list. Cheese. I've never been so disappointed at a member in my life. 4 cheeses. Really? You bring this to my doorstep. On the day of the channel anniversary, you bring this to our doorstep. I don't know if it's the anniversary, I'm just making that up. But you bring the cheese to me. I am disgusted by you, strong boy. One of our oldest members, and this is all you bring me is cheese. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. You tagged me, Necros. Where are you at? Okay, Necros, I did say I've skipped you a bajillion times, so I will do Necroses then. Okay, Necros, I'll let you cheat it. I'll let you cheat the system, Necros. So I have missed you a few times actually, buddy. I don't mean to. So the next ones we will do on Sunday. Guaranteed, 100% promise you guys. This guy plays Shaman actually. I might leave him till last. No, actually I like Shamans. Wow. I apologise, Mulfrey. I do like Shamans. I play Windwalker Monk. Give me that mastery buff, please. Where are you at, Necros? Stop hiding. What's your name on here, Necros? You honestly, you're a terror. Where are you, Necros? Tag me again, Necros. Tag me. This one? No, that's not you. I am a cheater. I bought an extra cult. Well, I need you to tag me in the post. I don't need an extra cultist, Mr. Necros. It's not that one, that's subs. But did I tick yours off? I didn't even tick you off, did I? Good lord, I'm going to end up repeating myself. There we go. So you are just called Necros. Where are you, Necros, on here? Necros. Are you all the way up here? Arc. That's Bertie Boy, Mulfred. Big Teasy, 50k DPM. Ruthless. Tentacles. Ruthless Tentacles. What a comment. Ruthless Tentacles Chemist. Quaid, Salthes. Necros, where are you? Stop hiding from me. You're gonna make me type in the search bar. What is this about? It says you haven't posted anything. Necros. Tag me in your own post. You're driving me crazy. Right, you give me a new tag. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, you're a cheeky devil of a plague marine, but you have been a member for 2 years, so I'll let you off. You cheeky devil. You have been a... Oh, good lordy! She comes home and look what she bring, guys. She bring a bacon, chicken, and stuffing sandwich, a chocolate muffin, and a chocolate yogurt from Tesco. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You said no healthy stuff.
I did say no healthy stuff because I had a very bad day at work. So yeah. Thank you so much. That is true support. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so let's go through this then. It is called A Gross Amount of Wounds, Taliban Summoners. So we got, and for fuck's sake, you troll, an icon bearer. An icon bearer. Why? You know what, strong boy, get back in the house. You're welcome back in. Necros, get in the garden. Honest to God, what is this nonsense? Good lord. Okay, 7 Plague Marines with a bolt gun. 7 Plague Marines with a bolt gun. 10 Plague Bearers, 10 Plague Bearers. 10 Plague Bearers, so 30 Plague Bearers. Oh my... 60 Poxwalkers, 18 squads and 18 units of Nurglings, 3 Plague Drones, 3 Plague Drones, 3 Plague Drones, 1 Beast of Burgle, 1 Chaos Spawn, double Chaos Rhino. I took the new points, divided them by the wounds units to figure out how many wounds per points I could get. This is so many infiltrators. Oh. So we're actually working purely off points to wounds efficiency. Okay, so I'm gonna say this right now, Necros. I played, because of you beautiful lot, because you're all absolutely the worst possible fans, I played Triple Plague Surgeon, Triple Lord of Contagion, Winged Demon Prince, Flying Demon Prince, 27 Nurglings and 60 Poxwalkers, and a Land Raider as a meme list, Triple Plague Surgeon. And I beat 2 Grey Knight players at the RTT. Why? Because I just didn't let them move. So this list, with 60 Poxwalkers, has all the Nurglings, the exact same stuff, and has even more wounds on top of it. Has the capacity to just say nobody gets to move. Now, the problem is, when people realise you actually have no damage and just kind of run at you, because I still had a little bit of damage. I think, there's also there's a fucking Plague Bong. Well, I suppose the Plague Bong goes on home. And of course you can win. There's a Plague Bong in here. Okay, so the Plague Bong sits on home, so that means everything else can kind of play forward after you've stick it. You can't stick it. Oh, yeah, you've got Plague Bearers, so you can stick it. Look, there is genuinely... So, if we weren't in Challenger card season, this is a genuinely I would have play against players that just don't know how to deal with being move blocked and being locked in, and then you play to your OC. So basically, your move block walls become your low OC units, your Poxwalkers and your Nurglings, stop people getting to objectives. When they finally start to get to the objectives, then you start contesting with the actual OC units. If you do this and rinse and repeat and play purely on the scoreboard, you will get wins with this list. I shit you not. Smart, clever play will get you wins. Doesn't matter what list you're taking. It doesn't matter anything. You can beat people. Now, if you come across a competent player of equal skill and they have a better army, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and say, yes, you can still win. Like, if they understand and disrespect you. Now, if they get bogged down in it and they don't actually have the damage check to get through it, you can still win. But it's very much a damage check. Yeah, I have always had critiques of it. But the thing is this takes it to more of an extreme, so it actually takes a skew. It's a pure skew. If someone doesn't have the damage profiles to get through this, like, Knights genuinely might actually struggle with this. Because especially if they haven't brought, like, a Gatling. I haven't brought a Gatling gun. Like, this could be nightmarish. Like, Chaos Knight's double Gatling Despoiler is a big issue for this. Because it just goes brrr and kills, like, 2 units. But if you against, like, normal Knights and they got, like, the Melters, like, especially against, like, Warglaive Spam, and all you got is the Thermal Cannons, like, yeah, good fucking luck. Like, well done. You killed 2 Poxwalkers. Clap, clap, clap. Part of that, it's not going to do much. So, really, like, if this was to be taken seriously, you could take this to teams, and if you get the right matchups, you would walk away with wins. I don't think you walk away with massive wins, but you're definitely going to frustrate. And it would also be very hard to blow this list out unless someone got, like, you know, Black Templars and just ran you down with, like, a million bajillion attacks or World Eaters. But, like, yeah, it's got a weird amount of invulns, it's got a weird varieties of toughness, everything's got higher toughness than you'd expect in here. There's also a weird amount of feel no pains chucking around in here as well with all the Poxwalkers. You genuinely could bog some down. This list, I feel like, would be near immune to being 20 and owed. Which has something to say in teams. Like, having a list that is literally immune to being 20 and owed is not a bad thing, genuinely. Just because you've got so many bodies, you just put them all over the board, you just score points passively. Happy days. But yeah, like, I know it's a bit of a meme you posted it, but I think, like, when you actually math it out, like, that is a horrendous amount of wounds. You are correct. That is genuine. And again, this is also with the Rhinos. Technically, you could get rid of the Rhinos and go full meme and just use those points to get even more potential wounds in here. But, like, genuinely, it's not terrible. Like, it's a lot worse you could do. There's a lot worse you could do, which is, like, bring in, like, a load of useless characters. So, I hope that answers that one for you, Necros. If you do take this to event, please let me know, because I will watch you. I will watch how you get on with this, because it's very, very funny to me. And, again, sometimes taking weird lists and absolutely pushing yourself to the extremities of stress can be quite fun. So, yeah. Daz, would you ever do a Death Guard tactics and deployment in general and in the first turn? Never quite sure how aggressive to be, and generally my go turns up being turn 2 in the Death Strike. I can do. So, the hard thing about that one is how I would do it as... I don't know if it would work as a video or if it would work better as a live stream. Because the thing is, deployment kind of depends on my opponent. There's no fixed, this goes here always. Like, sometimes there is, but there's a bit like... it's always nuanced. And it's more about understanding the nuances and understanding why we do things rather than where things go. So it's like, why is Mortarion on the line in this matchup? But in this matchup, he's not. So I can do that if you want. It might be a bit hard to do in video form, but in live stream, we could do a deployment live stream, and you guys can come in with scenarios or come with opponents' lists and your lists, and I'll deploy it for you on TTS and just be like, this is probably what I'm going to do here. So that's something we could potentially do if you guys would be interested in that. Right. My throat is dry. That sandwich looks tasty. I'm hungry. I am going to call it there for tonight. So do not worry, everybody. I'll be back on Sunday, and we will go through the rest of these on the Blight Surgery. We'll keep going. All these people here tag me at the ending and Crazy Dave, which I mentioned here. You guys will get priority on the next one. We'll go from there. And we will go forward from there. So, again, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in tonight. You can hear my voice going a little bit. Hope you guys have had a good evening and just chilling and hanging out with me. Thank you for being here. And again, anyone that's left a like and commented in the chat, anything like that, it's been really appreciated. Is this real? No. Channel anniversary is actually... Do you want me to find out for you? Let me find out when the channel anniversary is. Give me 2 seconds. It is not actual anniversary day. Dude, I was just trying to be dramatic. Actual anniversary day for the channel is... View your channel... January the 22nd. So we are just over. Well, not over, just over. We will be coming up. So when January comes, that'll be our 3-year anniversary, which would be pretty cool. That'll be pretty cool. We're going for 3 years, which would be nice to know. But yeah, Sunday it'll be 7 o'clock more than likely. Oh wait. Nah. When's raid? Is it Sunday? At 7:30. Okay, so it'll be 6 o'clock on Sunday, not 7 o'clock. I forgot, new guild. So 6 o'clock Sunday, I'll be doing another Blade surgery. So yeah, hopefully. If you are here, but again, it's all. You can always watch it back afterwards, so don't worry about that. But yeah, if you can make it, that would be awesome, and I will look forward to seeing you here. But yeah, for now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Sorry, it literally was just posted and I was online like 5 minutes later. Like I said, I had the VT thing, I had work, and I'm straight into this. It's been a lot to go for, but in the future we'll get more chair time. To be fair, Bertie, chair time is peak content, and it's also very easy content for me. So I think we'll have to dedicate a full chair stream, and we might even let Kirby sit on the chair for a bit, because that would be peak Death Guard content. Nobody wants to see me here. Everyone wants to see Kirby. So yeah, we can work on that. Right, I'm actually going to make me leave because I'm too bad at rambling on. Thank you for the subscribe, Tomash. I am very bad at rambling on, and I will stay here all night if you guys keep talking to me. So stop talking to me. Be quiet. Sit down. Behave. Right, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I will catch you all on the next episode of the Discussing Resident Podcast, the next stream. I'm going to try and do an event recap tomorrow for the 2 rounds of the RTT I had. I got a bye, so I couldn't do the 3rd round. But you can see how I very badly played my Mortarian Demon Prince. But there's a few things to learn, so I might try and do that in there. So right, actually going. Goodbye, everybody. Stay rotten. Take care. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Great wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The Death God transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The Legion reborn, their fate revealed. Rise in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror shadow, their war drums beat. Indolent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged ties, blade meets the blade born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Blade-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born, Mortarian's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.